Follow breaking news tonight at 5:30.
I had a feeling that it was coming, honestly, because you see these things kind of a repeat occurrence, and disappointing to hear it happen because I know he and his family were working on some really important initiatives.
More pain and anguish for a community already reeling from the Sandy Hook school shooting. Today they learned of the tragic death of one of the parents, Jeremy Richmond.
Channel 3 eyewitness news reporter Kevin Hogan is in Stores tonight, where he met up with another Sandy Hook family member, J.T. Lewis. Kevin?
Well, Dennis, J.T. Lewis tells me he lost his little brother, Jesse, some 6 years ago at Sandy Hook. And tonight, he says, whether it's the family and victims of Sandy Hook or Parkland, Florida, there are little triggers that will never let you forget.
And there are these little triggers that you never know when they're going to come up. No one means to do it. And so I have no idea what happened this morning with Jeremy or what happened, last week or, in Parkland. But
J.T. Lewis is reflecting today on the sudden passing of Jeremy Richmond, a Newtown father who lost his daughter Avielle 6 years ago at Sandy Hook. Police say he apparently took his own life. And J.T. is also recalling two apparent suicide deaths recently of former Parkland High, Florida students.
I saw a tweet about it, about the kids that were unfortunately taking their own lives because of survivor's guilt, which is a very real thing, and unfortunate that they feel that way.
JT says to help others cope, he posted suicide prevention numbers on his social media accounts. He says surviving a tragedy is different for each suffering person because there are always reminders when you least expect them.
When I took my SAT, the teacher will write on the board when the stop time is, and they wrote on it the stop time was 12:14, and I had to sit there as I took it the entire time and just look at that number, which of course is 12:14, December 14th.
The date of the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting. JT says his mother called him today to let him know as a reliable source about the sudden death of Jeremy Richmond and that survivors also need support.
It's opening an eye to this survivor's guilt thing that's going on, and maybe we'll learn how to combat that and how to help the thousands of other kids who have been in these schools when this stuff happens.
JT shares with me that he and his family, they are spiritual, and oftentimes he finds himself talking to his brother Jesse, asking and looking for an explanation in these kind of instances and saying, why? Live at the Mobile Newsman Stores, Kevin Hogan, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Reaction to Richmond's death has been pouring in. Congresswoman Johanna Hayes said today, quote, "Today's news, along with the two recent suicides of Parkland students, further illuminates the fact that we must do more as a society to help victims of gun violence and their families grieve. These tragedies show the trauma of gun violence extends far beyond the initial tragedy."
And a reminder, if you or someone you know is thinking about suicide, here is a very important number. It's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. There you see the number, very bold on the screen, 1-800-273-8255. The group has crisis centers set up and is ready to take your call. And for a link to the organization, just head to the Channel 3 app.